Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of Facelift. I think maybe we'll call it Facelift. But it's going to be Facelift for my Modulus. Basically the goal is here to make the Modulus slightly smaller. Slightly bigger than a strife, but definitely smaller than what it is currently. Personally, I think it's a better shell than a strife. It's a great blaster. If you don't have one, I recommend getting one. Anyways, you can see I've done some artwork here. Some things have been kind of just designing this sort of on the fly. And the goal here is to take this barrel, keeping the extension, really this whole front piece, hopefully, and bringing it back here. So as you can see, I've done some artwork here, just some places that I think I'm cutting. Basically, the goal is to get this barrel extension right about here at the end point. So I want this whole assembly moved back to about, I really want it here, but we don't know yet. So we'll see what happens. So again, this is kind of just what I'm thinking cutting wise. I want to keep the faux iron sight here. I want to keep this part. I want to expose the barrel also. I've already taken the liberty of taking out the screws. I did find this, but it was interesting. I got it pretty dark. You know, it is something that I did not observe the first time I took this blaster apart. This entire gray piece area here comes completely out. So you could really make some awesome switch plates for this thing, for full auto kits. I don't know why they're not doing it yet, but if you haven't, someone out there with a 3D printer, take a picture. Do it for us all. So let's get to dremeling. Well, I vowed never to do this actually. But Captain Xavier said he hated this. Well, he didn't hate it, but he disliked this gun so much because it was not a good primary or a good secondary, wouldn't fit in the holster and all this good stuff. So I thought if I could make this thing strife sized, he might like it. And so that therefore is the premise for what I'm doing right now. So I think we start here in this corner. Alright, we're still cutting, still chopping. Some of these areas I'm actually using go inside, an X-Acto knife to get out some of these pieces, or in the pieces that I want to keep to get a little more precise. This is really a work in progress. It's going to be one step at a time. Nobody's done it yet, so I got nobody's kind of ideas to go off of to kind of guide me, so I'm more or less just making this up as I go along. So here we go, right? Come out wherever you will. So let's just keep cutting it up, keep chopping it up, and see how it goes. So I had a little Dremel once upon a time, and I think I killed it. It's dead. I killed it. smoking. I guess they didn't do one. I have one though. I had one. Anyways. Yeah. That's all. For now. Still cutting. Alright, lots of sweat later. It's apart. Alright. It's apart. Like that. It's supposed to, and it's just one side. Shouldn't take me as long as I thought it was going to, considering how I did it. Basically, want it to look like that. Alright, so last we met, we were chopping up Modulus, trying to make it cool, and we blew it. For one, I cut too much off the bottom. I got it actually lining up. Started cutting where I shouldn't have started cutting, all kinds of fun stuff, but we will have to fill this blank in eventually, but you can at least get a gist of what we're trying to achieve here. And so I've got this lined up fairly well. Just putting it together is going to be fun. I have picked up some things for that, but we still have the other side to cut, and not doing it the hard way this time. We're going to use a real tool. Alright, well, I broke my first cutting wheel. As far as my knowledge, nobody's chopped up an Ecs10, Modulus, whatever you want to call it. I call it an Ecs10. Right, so we're going to have to reshape this a bit. So what I'm going to attempt to do here is crash sticks. Right, well, I'm going to put one there, here. I glue it on there with said Gorilla Glue, right? And then we're going to try to fudge it back on there, right? Yeah, following. And then we're going to try to fill in those gaps with putty. And of course, we're going to have to do some shaping, some sanding, and things like that. Luckily, it's on the screw side of the blaster, so not the aesthetically pleasing side, so we're not going to show that side off as much. So we might be able to get away with this not being perfect. This is my first shell modification ever. I think I bit off more than I can chew. In fact, I did bite off more than I can chew. You know, live and learn, then get loves. And so I think it's going to be awesome when it's finally done. I don't think it's going to be near as awesome as I kind of pictured it in my head. Hindsight being 20/20, I think what I should have done is like a rapid strike kind of thing and just literally buzzed here straight up, because that would have cleared, yeah, it would have been in line with the Modulus, and just gone straight down. Left the tack rail on, because I do want, my goal is to try to move the tack rail back to here, so that it's like kind of sort of flush-ish there, so it's really kind of more of an actual usable tack rail and being all the way up front where the bow iron sight is. So yeah, put a new cutting wheel on. Let's continue chopping away at this thing, and let's get it apart so that we can start fitting it back together, really. And then in the meantime, I'll be hot gluing this, that, and the other thing. So this is going to be it's going to be a fun project. I'm really excited to see how it comes out, just because I've never done this before. So follow along. We're probably just going to go ahead and cut now and come back when we've actually kind of got somewhere. All right, thanks, guys. And the thing about it is, like I said in the beginning, I could have just chopped it off right in front of the flywheels and just glued the barrel extension on and called it a day. But I love this skeletonized look that we have here, and you can see that this used to be a shroud over the barrel, so that will all be exposed externally. We got a lot of stuff to clean up. I don't think you'll see any of that when it's all said and done. Still want to keep this part of the barrel. I like that part as well, and it does still go in. We've lost the support for it on one side anyway, but I do have the support for it on the opposite side, so that should be fine. And I don't think you're going to be able to really see any of that, so I think that's going to look really cool exposed. It looks like I gotta find my cut points here to match it back into that point. But we gotta figure out exactly where that's gonna sit. And I'm thinking then I can just cut. I'm hoping I can just cut the opposite angle there to get that just to kind of pop right there. And we're gonna have a very shortened Ecs10. I'm calculating about 2 3/4 to 3 inches shorter than original barrel, which should be a huge FPS boost since you won't have as much barrel drag. Hopefully it doesn't ixnay performance or anything like that. So I gotta add. So everywhere that I'm gonna need it, I'm simply gonna be adding my craft sticks and epoxies, and yeah, because that is one spot where we're gonna have to kind of remold. We cut a little too much off. So we're going to be kind of remolding that piece there on the other side. So I think that's going to look sweet when it's done. I don't see me finishing this thing by the end of June, unfortunately. It's because I know I'm going to get frustrated, I'm going to get pissed off at it, I'm going to throw it at the wall, I'm going to get mad, it's not going to come out the way I want it, I'm going to be sanding and grinding and more epoxy, more sanding, more grinding, and paint, and I hate painting, and the paint job that I have in mind is really complicated, more complicated than any paint job I've ever done, because I've only really painted one Nerf blaster. Anyways, yeah, so all of that. So I think this kind of concludes episode 1. Where I royally blew it. That is essentially what we're going for on the front, and just a much smaller front end. So it's still going to be very SMG-like, a slightly bigger than the stripe. I don't like the actual stock size of the stripe. I want a desolator for that reason. Just it's a little more SMG-like. The stripe to me is more pistol-like. So I think we're going to have a pretty good medium compromise right in the middle here with my Schmodulus, which will be renamed, who knows, one day, but I think that's going to be the overall length. So if I go right chaw, I got my tape measure out, chaw, I'm losing slightly less than I thought, about 2 inches. Losing 2 inches of barrel, 2 inches of real estate. That's it? So yeah, that concludes episode 1 of ECS minimalization. Should I just do that anyway? Because I kind of feel like I've got a whole lost cause here. I'll tell you what, leave a comment below. This is if you stayed and watched this video, just watched me ramble and talk to myself, then you're a true dude. So, pseudo new plan. We would lose this, the modulus part, which I could just grind that down and just get a stupid minimalized ECS10. So the front would end there. Basically the barrel would be shot. I think that actually might look pretty sweet. It'd look like a stripe, it wouldn't be a stripe, and then I could keep the carry handle just to make it really off-putting. It would be so much easier. Or keep the modulus, bring it down, cut it here, and then cut it down that way. You know, there would be enough for at least a foregrip. I'm going to go ahead, edit this, post this, and then you guys are going to decide which route I go. Do I go with the original plan, the slightly longer stripe with the cool skeletonized barrel and all that jazz? Or do I go super small, pistol size almost, and chop it right there? Cutting it right through the D. Right through the D! That's dirty. Maybe we can't do that then. We can't cut off the D. Straight down, so to speak. You could even bring it straight down, and then where it turns here, follow that line there, because then I can mold like a nice grip there or something, or get a
like a rapid strike kind of thing going on there. Possibly. Or because I could do that with like a Maverick handle. We keep Modulus. So we got three options. We keep Modulus, we come straight here, and then straight back out, kind of a shark, kind of, sort of esque. Shark looking. Right through there, and then straight back down. Might leave enough room for an actual kind of grip of some sort. Who knows? Do have to get the old grip to fit back in here and close somehow. We're going to have to cut it in half, take an inch out of it. Ooh, that's going to be not fun at all. So we got three options. Original design, straight down, snub nose style, or Sharky style. Keeping the Modulus, so with two styles we keep the Modulus, with one we do not. What do you guys think? What do you think? What do you think is going to look the best? And if anybody out there has been brave enough to do this, please post it and let me know what you've come up with. Sometimes I can't see the future, and so I have issues like foreseeing what something may or may not look like, and then I can't. Although, man, I'm really thinking the snub nose. I think it's going to be the easiest route, fastest route, and probably the best route to get this thing up and running in any time soon. I think it would still look awesome. There'd still be plenty of room back here for my lipo, but we'd have to go with an integrated stock. I think we go keep the original design. I plan on picking up another Ecs10 when I find one for cheap. They usually come around very often. I think we're going to have a really cool, futuristic looking rifle SMG thing when we're done. So it'll be unique. It'll be the first of its kind. It's going to be more challenging. So just the rise to the challenge, Evil, and get it done. So that's what we're looking for. I think it'll look cool if we can pull it off. It's a big if. So, alright, let's chop this video up and get it to internet land. Thanks for watching, guys. Boy, how long did I just ramble on for? A while, I'm sure. So, thanks for watching. Still had to come up with a new catchphrase. So, thanks, dudes. Foam on.